In our last video, we asked if Jesus traveled east. Today, we go deeper. What if what he taught was already Vedic? 2,000 years ago, a man walked the earth and changed the course of human history. But the story you were told, the one that built empires, burned heretics, and controlled billions of souls, is only half the truth. The other half may have been hiding in the oldest scriptures on earth, long before Christianity existed. Let's be clear about something from the start. The Vedas, the oldest sacred texts of India, composed thousands of years before Jesus was born, never mention his name. They couldn't have. They were written in a language he never spoke, in a land he may never have visited, thousands of years before his birth. But here's the astonishing part. The teachings that Jesus gave, the very essence of what he taught, were already codified in the East thousands of years earlier, not as a prophecy of Jesus, but as a living wisdom that he embodied, as if he were a master of a tradition that had been preserved for millennia. This is not a claim that Jesus read the Vedas. There is no evidence he ever held a Sanskrit manuscript, and we should not pretend otherwise. But even if the lost years took him east, and the ancient trade routes suggest they may have, the deeper point remains. Jesus did not need the Vedas to become what he was. The truth he embodied was so universal, so woven into the fabric of reality itself, that it could be discovered independently by anyone who looked deeply enough, whether in the forests of India or the deserts of Judea. The East may have shown him the map, but the territory was within him all along. Let's start with the teachings themselves. Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you." The Vedas said the same thing 5,000 years earlier, that the divine, the Atman, dwells within every living being, not in some distant heaven, but in the very core of your own consciousness. Jesus said, "Turn the other cheek." The Vedas codified ahimsa, nonviolence, as the highest law, the foundation of all spiritual life. Jesus healed the sick and cast out demons. The Vedic sages understood the body as energy, and the mind as the source of both disease and healing. Jesus taught in parables, using everyday objects, seeds, lamps, fishing nets, to reveal cosmic truths. The Vedic tradition did the same, using stories, metaphors, and symbols to transmit the deepest knowledge of consciousness. The method was identical, the message was identical. The only difference was the language and the landscape. Now, here is where the story becomes uncomfortable. The church that claims to follow Jesus spent centuries doing the opposite of everything he taught. It burned women as witches. It demonized cats. It suppressed the Gnostic Gospels, texts that preserved teachings the church found too dangerous to keep, teachings about the inner path, and hints of the cycle of souls. And in the year 553 AD, at the Second Council of Constantinople, the church made a decision that would change the world. It condemned the belief that the soul exists before birth and passes through lives. Why? Because a belief in past lives and karma gives power to the individual, and the church needed control. But wait, let's not get ahead of ourselves. That is a story for another video. Today, we focus on the man himself. So what does it mean to call Jesus a Vedic master? It means recognizing that the core of his teaching was not new, it was ancient. The inner kingdom, non-violence, the unity of all beings, the power of the mind over the body. These are the pillars of the Vedic tradition. And Jesus, whether he knew it or not, taught them with a clarity and a power that had not been seen in the West. Consider his 40 days in the desert, fasting, solitude, spiritual purification. The Vedic tradition calls this tapas, the inner fire of austerity that burns away impurities, the disciplined practice that transforms the seeker. Jesus did not retreat into the desert to escape the world. He retreated into the desert to conquer himself. to burn away everything that was not essential until only the pure awareness remained. This is not a Christian invention. This is the ancient science of tapas, practiced by yogis for thousands of years before Jesus was born. Consider his baptism in the Jordan, purification by water. The Vedic tradition calls this snana, the ritual cleansing of karma, not just the body. When John the Baptist immersed Jesus in the river, it was not a mere ceremony. It was a recognition that water washes away more than dirt. It washes away the accumulated weight of past actions, the residue of karma that clings to the soul. The same ritual, the same understanding, practiced in India for millennia before the Jordan ever flowed. Consider his practice of healing. The Vedic tradition understood the body as energy, and the healer as one who could channel that energy, one who could rebalance the flow of prana, the life force, within the patient. Jesus did not perform magic. He performed what the East had always known, that consciousness affects biology, that the mind can heal the body, that the healer is not a miracle worker, but a master of energy. Consider even the very title that was given to him. Christ comes from the Greek Christos, meaning the anointed one. The Hebrew is Messiah. And in Sanskrit, there is a word, Krito, meaning the same thing, the anointed one. 3 languages, 3 cultures, the same title, the same meaning. Coincidence? Perhaps. But the thread runs deep. Now, the most radical idea of all. Jesus said, I and the Father are one. The Vedas say, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. The same declaration of unity between the individual soul and the infinite. Not a claim of exclusive divinity, but a recognition of universal divinity. The same divinity that dwells in every being, in every leaf, in every star. This is not a Christian idea that happened to appear in the Vedas. It is a Vedic idea that Jesus embodied with perfect clarity. When Jesus said, I and the Father are one, he was not claiming to be the only Son of God. He was revealing the truth that every soul is a son of God, that the divine is not something to be earned or granted, but something to be recognized within. And here is where the story deepens. Consider the missing years. The Gospels are silent about Jesus between the ages of 12 and 30, 18 years. No record, no teaching, no ministry. The Bible simply skips from the boy debating in the temple to the man preaching in Galilee. But the ancient trade routes of the time, the Silk Road, the Spice Route, connected Judea to the great spiritual centers of the East. Caravans traveled from Jerusalem through Mesopotamia and Persia all the way to the Indus Valley. And in these lands, the wisdom of the Vedas and the Upanishads had flourished for millennia. The question is not whether Jesus traveled east. The question is why the record of those years was left so carefully blank. Consider, too, the way Jesus taught. He did not write a single book. He did not found a single institution. He gathered disciples and taught them directly by word of mouth in intimate settings. This is precisely the Vedic model of transmission. The Guru Shishya Parampara, the unbroken chain of master to disciple, passed orally from generation to generation. Jesus did not create a bureaucracy. He created a lineage. And like the Vedic gurus, he taught that the truth must be realized within, not merely believed from without. He asked his disciples to investigate, to question, to see for themselves, not to accept blindly. This is the spirit of the Upanishads. Not dogma, but direct experience. So what do the Vedas really say about Jesus? They don't say his name, but they describe his path. They describe his teachings. They describe the truth he embodied, a truth that was older than the church, older than the Bible, older than Christianity itself, a truth that the East never forgot. Jesus was not the founder of a new religion. He was the living expression of an eternal wisdom, a wisdom that the Vedic sages had preserved for thousands of years. The church built walls to keep you from seeing this. But the truth was always there, written in the oldest language on earth, waiting for the day when you would be ready to hear it. The question is not whether Jesus was a Vedic master. The question is whether you are ready to see the thread that connects all masters, the one eternal truth that every sage, every mystic, every enlightened being has always taught. Jesus embodied it, the Vedas encoded it. But the church that buried this teaching had a reason, and in the year 553 AD, they made a decision that would change the world. That is the next story. Stay curious and subscribe for more.